It's not about the size of your rod, it's how you use it. So recently I showed you my hobbyist fishing rod made by Witch Doctor Tackle, and this rod was a 6'6" medium power spinning rod. And I got a lot of questions about the length of your rod. Does the length of your rod matter in your fishing? And why do I tend to use shorter rods? Like even my glide bait setup, this is a 6'6" travel rod, and usually with glide baits people are throwing them on like 8-foot long fishing rods. So today I want to help you understand the differences between using a longer rod and a shorter rod. Why do I prefer a shorter rod? A big reason of that is because in Korea, where I grew up, no one has boats. We're all bank anglers, and my fishing DNA is rooted in bank angling. Now, when we're bank angling, there's a few things that we have to consider. One, if you fish from the bank a lot, you know how annoying it is to have to go under a tree to get to a good fishing spot. If you have a super long rod in front of you, you're just going to get caught up in that tree. But 90% of the fish are at our feet from the bank. Here's another way to think about it, right? When people are fishing from a boat and they're fishing towards the bank, they're casting to where we're standing from, right? So as bank anglers, why does it make sense for us to take a super long rod and bomb cast out towards those boats? When we're fishing from the bank, the biggest strengths that we have as bank anglers is access to the back sides of pieces of cover. Boat anglers have to try to cast to those pieces of cover, skip cast, make hard technical casts to get to those pieces of cover, but we're right there. So what that means is I prefer to have a shorter rod that I can control the tip better with and make really nice accurate cast. And when we're casting, a lot of the time is wherever your rod tip is pointing, that's where your bait's gonna go. And a good way to kind of see this is that with a rod with a reel on it, when it's nicely balanced and short enough, I can draw a star right in front of you, right? With my rod tip really accurately and consistently, but it's a lot harder to do that with a nice and long rod. And this isn't only for spinning rods. Even on my glide baits, I prefer to be able to pitch cast my glide baits than bombing them out because I fish floating glide baits that I can pitch close to cover, make a super quiet entrance without making a massive splash. However, there is a time and place for a super long rod, and generally those are baits that we're fishing with some kind of slack line and that's cast further out. So like a spook, for instance, like a spook or a wake bait, some kind of top water where we need a little bit of slack to get that bait to have the right action. But if a fish bites it, when we go to set the hook, because of that slack, yes, we can try to reel down to it, but we have a long rod, we can move that rod tip a lot more with one single stroke because of the physics of a longer rod and get that hook set, whereas that may be a little harder with a shorter rod. And if you want to see me put the Witch Doctor Tackle X Hobbyist fishing rod to work using the shorter advantage of this rod to make super accurate casts of key points of structure like the edges of lily pads, check the new video on my YouTube channel. So don't let anyone tell you anything about the length of your rod. So what are you waiting for? Get out there.